Okay, so one more question. Let me know which one. Okay, can you tell me what is question 10?
Log 9 y equals -1.
Log
9.
base 9.
Oh, base 9. Y equals negative.
Y is equal to -1. Okay, that's good.
Negative
-1/2. Okay, that's good. So -1/2. So it'd be a heart. So it'd be 9 to the -1/2 is equal to y. Did you do this part? Did you do the negative exponents? And this is the means what? Square root of 9. That's equal to 1/3.
Ooh.
Questions? Next question.
Did you switch it?
Mr. 7 of 4 section.
Okay, so can you tell me what the question is?
Log
Uh-huh.
x
X
y equals
equal to what? Z. What do they want? They want to change the exponential form?
No.
It says on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They change the exponential form, then there's just this. X to the z is
Equals
equal to y. That's it. Yes, you're back?
Yeah, that was pretty hard.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
section
it
two.
takes like 1 second to do, and you don't do it. Huh?
I don't understand section 2.
Section 2, pick a question. 5, so which question 5 is?
Log base 25. 5.
Oh.
The 5 cube
Yes.
is equal to what?
Nothing.
Just equal to don't know, right? So we're gonna call that something we don't know is x, okay? So then, again, right here, is it 25 to the x equal to 5 to the 3, right?
So it'll be 5.
What do they have in common?
5.
5 to the 2x to the 5 to the 3. 2x is equal to 3. It should not be hard. It's easy, yeah, you don't do it. If your mind believes that's hard, same thing, Andrea, she rather look at the ceiling and kind of focus on something else.
Wait, which one?
Yeah,
I need a second to like write it in logarithm form.
logarithm form,
Wait,
so
what number now? It's square root
Section 2 over 5.
x equals y.
good. So what does x, square root x mean? 1/2 power, good. So it'd be log base of x is equal to 1/2. Wow.
Which one is that?
I don't know which one is that, but it was.
Where's the y?
Yeah,
The y
the
goes.
y.
The y goes over there, right?
X, oh, hold on, x to
X,
the
y.
y is equal to 1/2.
Yeah.
You didn't spend, it's like 34 questions, but each question only spent 2 seconds. Yes,
You do section 1, question 12.
section 112, okay, what's section 112 says?
Log base 9, 1/81 equals 9.
9 here,
Yeah.
1/80
1/81
1
equals
y.
y.
equal to y, that's a good question. So it'll be 9 to the y equal to 1/81. So what's 81 and 9 have in common?
Nine.
You just square 9.
Equals block 9.
It's actually 9, right?
Yeah.
Now this one can flip to the top, becomes negative.
Section 2.
Y is equal to -2.
I don't think I got it right.
Any other question? I haven't seen any hard one yet.
Oh, log. I got it.
Hold on, Louis.
Move out of.
Sophanie or what?
Yes, I'm gonna write it.
Okay, so which question you have, Sophanie?
Section 2, it's 16 log 4.
16 log
Yeah, 4.
of 4, 8, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if obviously this is equal to some type of x, so you can choose one other way to do it is I choose this part. you know, I'll do this part on the side. So what's log 4 of 8 is? Well, we're gonna say this is an x. We say this is a, we're gonna say this is a y, but this is an x here. So 4 to the x is equal to 8.
Oh, so square.
So 2 to the 2x equal to 2 to the 3. So 2x equal to 3, x equal to 3 over 2.
Oh,
And then you're gonna plug in here, so it'll be 16 to the 3 over 2. That means square root of 16 to the third power. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then can I do square root of 16 first? So it'll be 4 to the third power, that's equal to 64. Answer is 64. Can I do it from here? I can probably do it from here too. It'll be log of 16 to the y is equal to log 4 8. So that's equal to 3 over 2 here. So it'll be log 16 to the y. So it'll be 16 to the 3 over 2 is equal to y. Y is equal to 64. Yeah, I can do it either way. I haven't seen any hard one yet.
Log 5, 1 equals y.
Log 5, 1 equal to what?
Y.
Y. 5 to the y equal to 1. 5 to the which power, 5 to the which power is 1?
0. Yeah, no, I did.
0.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Anything to the 0 power is 1. It's all the exponential rule, I give it to you.
Yeah, shit.
What
Andrea?
about this one, Mr.?
B log B, or
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, that one's only worth one. Only one that was mentioned. But you can do it with just the hard thing. Log, what is it?
B log B.
Okay, B log B.
Yeah, B log B 3.
Okay, so this one looks very difficult, right? So we're gonna say we don't know the value is, this is x. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So can I, this is a logarithm form. Can I change the exponential form? Start to be a hard, right? Log base of b, right? The other side, x, is equal to log b of 3. Since they both are log b,
They cancel out?
they can cancel out, but just think about, they have to be, this one has to be 3 in order to make it the same thing as this one, because this part already is the same, right? So x must be equal to 3. Done.
Oh.
It doesn't require a lot, it just requires you believe that you can do it, Andrea. Most of you guys, I don't know how to do it. Of course you don't know how to do it because you didn't even try.
But I didn't know that we were supposed to equal it to x.
Well, it's always equal to something that we don't know. If we don't know something, we just set it equal to x because that's something we don't know, right? So it's equal to some type of value. So how often I use the hard thing? Almost every single question. You just have to figure out the exponential rules. And it should not take this long for you, allow you guys. All the questions should be easy. Okay, we're gonna cover what is down today. So we already reviewed what happened to rules the other day, and we reviewed how many rules are there. So the rules are this. If first rule, what do we say? Yes, the other day. Log of A is equal to what? 1, right? That's the first rule. Also, this is implying something else. What do you think this is? What is log 10?
10. I mean, no, 1, sorry.
Why is it 1?
Because log always has 10. If there's no number under it, if there's
So-
no base number, it's always 10, right?
Does that make sense? Because that base is 10, right? So if that's 10, if this is 10, then it has to be 1 as well. Are we okay here? That implies that. If I don't write any log, that means, I don't write any base, that means it's 10. Okay, you might want to write down a few rules after that, so get the paper out and figure out log, we're gonna call it base bx plus log by. So what do you think the answer is? log b
X.
to the x times y. Good. Are we okay here? That's the second law. The third law is as log b of x minus log b of y is equal to what? Log b of what?
X over.
X minus,
X
yeah.
over.
So that's the third rule. Is it too difficult?
No.
The fourth rule, okay, let's do some experiment. Let's see if you can apply those rules and make sense. I want you to simplify all the way. I want you to get a number. You should get an integers here. So here's what I want to ask you. What if I have log of 4 plus log of 10? Or log of 25, sorry. So your answer should be a single digit number. Write it down, don't shout it. Think about it.
You said single digit?
Don't say it though. I'll call on you.
1.
Andrea?
So that number 2, is
Uh-huh.
it log b or log 10, the second log?
B, yeah, B.
Oh, what number b?
The second log, oh, this is 10.
No, down, the number 2,
This is B.
the other 2, go next to it. No, up. That one and the one,
B,
and the one to the left.
B, 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 B. Okay, so does somebody tell me the answer now, Jaden? 2. Does that make sense? It's 2.
No.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Log of 100, right? But if I don't write down the base, this means 10, right? So 10 to the which power is 100?
Oh.
2.
Two.
See, multiple.
But if we leave it as log 100, would that be correct?
That will not be correct because that's not simplified all the way. It's correct, but it's not correct.
Oh, so I had to flip this.
Yeah, what if your multiple choice, the answer only has 2 and 10? Which one would you pick?
Yeah.
Right, so can you try another one? Log 6 of 72 minus log 6 of 2. What do you think the answer is? Obviously, we don't know what 6 to the, what power equal to 72. So it must have some other way to get around it. Again, the answer is a single digit number. I'm calling you too, so don't shout the answer. So I know a lot of you guys probably get the answer already. Lenny, what do you think the answer is?
Which one? This
The
one?
second one. Log 6 of 72 minus log 6, base of 6, 2. Lenny?
I don't know.
Yes.
2.
2 is
Yes.
correct. Use this rule, right? Because this is 72 and 2, they have a same base. They have to have a same base in order to do this. So b of 72 divided by 2, that's equal to log b of 36. Oh, not 6, this is 6, sorry. So log 6 of 36, that's equal to 2. 6. Yeah, that's 6. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce you next one, but I'm going to do an experiment. So I'm not going to introduce you a third rule. You're going to come up with this rule. So here's an experiment that we're going to do. The other day we do 2 experiments. Today we're going to do this experiment. Log 5 of 25 to the third power. We don't know what's 25 times 25 times 25, right? So we're gonna write a 3 right here in black.
I think I have an idea on what 45 is.
So I don't know. I don't know what's 25 times 25 times 25. It's 625 times 25 is a very huge number. So what we're gonna do is just think about what's 25 to the third power is. What do you think 25 to the third power? That means what? 25 times 25 times 25, right? So, but this one is which rule? First or second or third rule?
For second.
Second rule, but it's like this, right?
Yeah.
Can I write it backwards?
Yeah.
So that's equal to what? Log of 525, right? Plus log 525 plus log 525. This is a 1, this is a 1, this is a 1, right? So this one is going to be log 525. 5 to the which power is 25? 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. The answer is 6. But you said, oh, wait, is there any other way? You see this 1, right? You see this 1? This is in black. This is black. This is black. So that means this 1 and this 3. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 3, right? So what does that mean? Well, technically, we can change this rule and then we can bend this rule. We can say, hey, that just means this. It's always going to be true. If I take this 3 here, and I'll place in the front, from an exponential to a coefficient. So that's equal to 3 parentheses log of 525. If that's the case, then what is that? 3 to the 2, that's equal to 6. Wow, we get that in one step, which is much more efficient. So what does that mean? The rule need to be, the rule says this 3, I can put it in the front. So it's going to be log of x to the log base of b, right? To the x to the y power.
Equals y log bx.
That's perfect. That's the third rule. That's fourth rule, sorry. And with those 4 rules, a lot of things will be a lot easier. Meanwhile, I'm going to cover the 5th rule. This is the only rule you need to memorize. This 3 rule is pretty easy. Log A is equal to 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, do we need to memorize this one? That should be common sense. Anything to the 1 power is anything, right? So the second one, if it's addition, that becomes multiplication. If it's subtraction, lead to division. If it's a power, lead to multiplication. Right? That's kind of like a exponential rule, right? Anything to the 1 power is A, right? And this one just means x to the n times x to the m equal to x to the n plus m. X to the m divided by x to the n equal to x to the m minus n. This one is x to the n to the m power is equal to x to the m times n, becomes a multiplication. Now here's the exponential rule from the past. We need to create one more rule. One rule more is called changing base. So Zakoi, did you write down all the stuff? So this last rule, log of b of x is equal to log of the top minus log of the small one. Top over small, big over small. So with those 5, 6 rules, you can do anything on logarithm. And also later on you're gonna learn natural log can be replaced for all the log here. So all of the first property. So I can change everything to natural log. And that's gonna be exactly the same thing. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna teach you is now we're gonna teach you how to expand and compress. Okay? So we're gonna teach you how to compress first. So let's say 3/2 log of x minus 2 log of y minus 3 log of z. And what kind of base are they? Do they have a same base?
Yes. Oh, wait.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
They're all 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, so we're gonna do some process called condensation. Condense, right? Like in water cycle, yes, condensation, right? Evaporation and gonna go up there, it's gonna form a cloud, so it's become condensed. So you got all the vapor becomes the cloud, okay? So that's condensation. So that means I'm gonna condense this. To 1 log. Okay, to 1 log. So how do I write in log in one term? So let's go over all the rules. So PEMDAS says what? Power, exponent, right? Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So the problem is there is a coefficient in the front that represents power in a log. So that should be taken priority over other things. So if I were to change this to log of some x, what would I change to? Using the third property. If I go backwards.
That would be 3/2.
So 3/2.
The 3/2 power. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Minus log of y to the square. Is that too hard? Because the coefficient becomes a power. And then what do I do next?
Log
Log
the third.
Perfect. Now since they are subtraction, now you have to pay attention. I'm going to write everything in terms of 1 log. Nick, are you paying attention? So this is subtraction. So those two relationship is what? Multiply and divide. Look at the minus sign. Is that multiply or divide? Divide. So it'll be x to the what? 3/2 divided by what?
Y.
Y squared, right? Are we done? We're gonna do one more. Minus sign. So it's gonna be multiply or divide. Divide. So it should be on the bottom or it should be on the top?
Bottom. Top.
It's the bottom because you divided y squared. So this one divided by y squared, and also divided by z to the q. So that's z to the q. So that's called condense. You condense to 1 log. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do expanding. That means I'm going backwards. So I'm going to expand. Expand this. You have to be careful. These two quantities are what? Divided each other, right? So what does that mean? Log of x to the 3 over 2, right? Minus log of what? Y squared z to the 3, right?
Yeah.
Because those are two are multiplied together, right? But if be careful here. I'm gonna expand more. So it'll be log of x to the 3 over 2. Zakoi, wake up. Let me know which one you lost. This is log to 3 over 2 minus what? But this is a parenthesis, right? So we should have a parenthesis right here, right? Those two are multiplied together, so what's what?
They are adding.
They are adding. Do you see why is that minus is going down, minus is going down now because of that? Now we can write it in front, 3 over 2 log of x. This one's gonna be minus inside, so it'll be minus 2 log of y. And that minus sign's gonna distribute to this part as well. So it'll be minus 3 log of z, so we can go back to before. So that's called expansion. I'm gonna give you one for you to
We
try.
did all of that, let's go back to where it started.
Yeah, because the math, remember, it's going, it's like before, it's a math cycle. What's a math cycle? Input,
Just a wrap-
function,
wrap-
output, inverse, input, function, output, inverse, go back.
Rap
Wait,
for
so-
Lenny. Rap for
Do
Lenny.
it, do it.
Rocky, come on.
Is that what he did, right?
I wanna hear it.
That was stupid.
You know how Eagles did it?
Wait, so wait.
Come
Is
on,
this
do
a
it,
question? Or
What?
is this like,
Do it.
Go ahead.
is this a question or is it like you
The
like?
question I'll give you like this. So what example, what a question I want to ask you. For example, I will ask you something like this.
Oh, but like,
So can you expand?
so basically.
Can you expand? That means you want to write as many log as possible, but you want to expand it correctly.
But it ended up the same.
Yeah, but there was, in one side of the question will ask you to expand. One side of the question will ask you condense. So in this case, I have one log, I want to write down as many log as possible. So try one, try this one.
Wait, you're gonna what?
I'm so. Not even funny.
Mister, you're about to start recording?
Actually, pretty simple. It's just like.
Yeah, I did record.
They're pretty simple.
So let's expand this, let's expand this.
Same thing as
Income.
like the same exact.
Dude, imagine this in
I'd kill myself.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we have to.
If we had a test, would we have to memorize all of that?
It's not about memorizing. You have to think about shortcut about memorizing. So it's multiplication and addition are the same track. Addition and the division, they are the same, subtraction and the division are the same track. Multiplication becomes coefficient, coefficient becomes multiplication. That's the only thing I memorize. The only thing I memorize is maybe rule number 5.
Yeah.
So how would I expand this?
Subtraction.
Not yet.
Log.
What is it? The power first.
One half.
1/2.
1/2. Okay, here. And I put a 1/2 in the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I know why it's one half. Yeah. Then you subtract.
Then you subtract. So it's gonna be 1/2. Then you can parentheses because we take care of this part. This is a parenthesis, right? So that's gonna be log of x minus log of y. That's equal to 1/2 log of x minus 1/2 log of y. And that's it. It's not hard.
Minus.
Now you can go backwards. How do I go backwards? So this is called expansion, right? How about condensation? Well, I'm gonna say log of x to the 1/2 minus log of y to the 1/2, right? This one divided by this one, so it'll be log of x to the 1/2, y to the 1/2. And I have log of x over y to the 1/2, and which is, so we just go back to before. Yes,
Then why is it
1/2 because it's square root. 1/2 a to the m over n is equal to n root a to the m. So yes, you guys gonna have homework on this? Student, stop saying I cannot do it. Stop believing in yourself. I don't know how many times I told you that. Believe in yourself. One of the biggest investor I know, his name is Warren Buffett.
Ew.
You know what's Warren Buffett?
Yeah, did you see his diet? He drinks like 13 Cokes a day.
But he is like 90 years old. He's like second richest man in the
Yeah,
world.
he eats McDonald's every day.
He
What?
Wendy's.
Why is he dead yet? That's what I'm eating.
He's stupid rich.
But like,
He got money.
I mean, this guy eats like 4,000 calories a day.
but that's not healthy, so doesn't that make this?
He didn't
that
die.
guy?
He does
He's not dead.
He
He
does
eats
like
McDonald's, he eats superpowers.
He does a certain
But he says always invest in yourself.
What do you think,
That's
why
why,
do you think
mister,
Starbucks
I
don't
give
have-
myself self-care days every day.
But beef.
These
Should I
guys,
should I masturbate or a face mask?
I saw on Snapchat.
I was listening to you when you were doing this.
Oh,
I didn't
It's
copy
20
them.
fucking pizzas.
yes.
Oh, you copy down.
Ice cream taco.
Huh?
I did my phone.
Hey.
I know, I trust you. You're good.
Oh, yo, your charger.